Good evening, everybody. We are live here from the Nurburgring, the final round of the North American Grand Prix. Monday night Formula Abarth Championship. This is round number 12. And, man, we got a great race in store for you guys. This is shaping up to be a pretty nice race here between the competitors here tonight. But before we get started, I'm going to welcome my partner here tonight, Brad Maris. Brad, welcome.
Yeah, thanks, Al. So the last gasp here for these guys for this season 27, huh? For a select few, I guess it's going to be about trying to grab some championship medal in the form of some fabulous NAG prizes. For some of these other guys, it's an opportunity to prove themselves in the last gasp here. It's going to be a good event.
Yeah, certainly really looking forward to this one here tonight. So after 11 rounds in the books, we are finally at the final round at this inaugural AC season here on Monday nights here at the Nurburgring. Let's take a quick look at the track map before we get started here. You're looking at 15 corners, Brad. Pretty tricky circuit here. Very demanding. And yeah, they're pretty fun to drive in these cars.
Oh yeah, like all the tracks have been. What a season these Abarths have been, man. A really unique driving experience here for NAGP and a lot of these drivers, but it has been a blast, and I think some guys have come having a little tough time coming to grips. Others have not, and this track, I think, really exploits the great handling of these Abarths, and they're going to be able to run really close on this track, assuming they don't make mistakes.
We're on board with Chris Moses here, our championship leader, on a hot lap here in this qualifying session. Making his way through turn one. Yeah, go ahead, Brad.
Yeah, I was going to say that very late braking turn one, these cars actually handle it pretty well. It's much more difficult to go wide through that turn one complex than it is, say, in a GT car. So rules here tonight, Al. Actually, these drivers can run as wide as they like coming off corner. Not going to have to worry about that here on this particular corner, however, as it's more or less a high-speed fourth gear blast and down to third. Ooh, Chris Moses gets that one a little wrong. You want to brake a little earlier there and make sure that you can get enough of the apex. Very easy to go wide on that corner here, Al. And this 180-degree here always sucks you into braking pretty late. Chris Moses actually braked very late through there, so he has the car set up very well under braking. It obviously is rotating on entry quite nicely. Going to be flat out left-right-hander here for these guys. No problems or complications getting through here in these Abarths through that corner, and a tricky little complex left and right. Late braking corner, overdue pretty easily. Chris Moses is going to be kicking it in fourth. Pretty fast there, and sticking in fourth there through the right-hander. Sorry, go ahead, Al.
Getting reports that they cannot hear you. Hang on 1 second.
Well, let me know if I need to boost my ventrilo.
Okay, go ahead now. Try, Brad.
Check, 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 check.
You guys hear him okay now? Hopefully that's a yes. I see you coming through.
We'll hear back in about 30 seconds or so.
So Chris Moses checks in with the 59.7. Montgomery Jr. with the 59.5. So Montgomery Jr. quickly to the top of the timing sheets. Yeah, I just got some new equipment here, so thought I had everything nailed, but apparently not. It looks like we got it figured out now. Luis Nieto out on track. Luis looking pretty racy here. He's got his first pole position a couple races back, and was looking quite racy here in the practice leading up to tonight's event, Brad.
Yeah, I sure was. Didn't have the greatest of luck out there at Silverstone. Got involved in some early contact there, but looking pretty sharp here, as you say, Al. Still looking for that first win of the season, by the way, Luis Nieto. This is the last opportunity of this season, I guess.
Yeah, it certainly is. So Nieto, he got that pole. It wasn't not Silverstone, race before that.
Mugello.
Mugello, that's right. So I had a great pole at Mugello, and quick exit for him in that race. He don't believe he made it 2 laps, but nonetheless, he's back at it here tonight.
Well, while you're on Luis Nieto, let's just take 1 second here to mention that he has taken that bonus point. He got a championship point, rather, for that pole position at Mugello, but despite the 3 or 4 or 5 races Luis has participated in, 0 points other than that 1 point for that pole position now, and that's a little surprising.
Yeah, it is. It's something he's certainly going to have to work on going forward next season, is getting those finishes and scoring some points. So came in late as an independent driver, so but not sure what his plans are for next season, but if he does decide to run on Monday nights and team up with somebody, he's going to want to rack up some points here. So following Nieto as he completes this lap, and there it is. He goes to provisional pole with the 59 flat, server best. And right behind him, I believe that was David Poole with the 2-minute 2. So David Poole carrying some weight here tonight. So we follow Sergio Calderon just crossing the start-finish line. So Calderon currently back in 12th with the 2:04.9. This is a flyer here for Sergio.
Interesting watching that Luis Nieto lap. He took the big curbing through the final chicane, and the car seemed to handle it quite nicely. I don't know if they'll be able to do that in the race, but I did not expect to see that. That probably gained him some time.
Yeah, it's a matter of, how that car is set up. These cars could be a bit tricky over some of these bumps, and ride height is a big factor here, so not sure what type of setup he's got going on there, but it's working for him through that chicane. So as we continue to follow Calderon here, through turn 8, going to be approaching now Michael Schumacher S. Very tricky uphill fast chicane. Not so much in these cars.
No, it's just flat out through there. Pretty much no muss, no fuss in the Abarth.
Joliceour checks in with the 59.4. So these guys, you see the bottom left of your screen, the time's popping up here quickly. Joliceour to second here early on. John Houston, you see him lit up dark. He's serving no qualifying penalty here tonight.
Boy, and that's going to hurt that team.
Oh, yeah, big time. After making some contact with Ronnie Nunez last week.
I guess the good news...
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. We'll finish off Sergio's lap here.
So is Sergio going to improve? He does. Actually, no, he's going to stay the same. Does not improve on his lap time. Right behind him, Chuck Carter. Chuck Carter running a 2:01.9. So it looks like Sergio's going to stay out. Chuck's going to try and make his way past here. David Poole on a flyer here. Winner last week at Silverstone, carrying 20 kilograms. But go ahead, Brad. I cut you off there.
I was going to mention really quickly for John Houston and Aaron Parsons, both members of that team, the good news is that we have a relatively light turnout, so John Houston may not have to fight his way through a whole bunch of traffic here to try to garner some points for that team and have a chance at that championship.
Yeah, Ronnie Nunez unable to make it tonight. Preto, talk to him. He is out tonight. Got exams for school, so he can't make it. Tough time of the year. Worked out that next week, the holidays coming up, so it worked out. We didn't have any issues during the season. Knock on wood, Thursday remains okay, but if we did have something, it would have made things tough for us with the holidays, but so far so good. That's David Poole here on a flyer.
Yeah, also electing for the fourth gear. No change down to third through the first part of that chicane there. So obviously plenty of front grip on these cars. In my recon laps, I was actually kind of surprised the amount of grip they were able to generate around this place. See if David uses some of that curbing. He does. He at least hopped over the first part of it. I don't know if that was by mistake or on purpose, but interesting.
So David Poole also coming on late here this season. Had a couple good qualifying sessions, qualifying runs here early on to start his season. Not so well finishing, but really turned it around last week, notching that first career win as he gets a little wrong there through turn one. So Marty, you're in on and out lap. Marty,
yeah,
with a number of second place finishes this season, unable to get that first win.
Yeah, that's right. I don't know if you can call it feast or famine for Marty Urin. I mean, he's had solid point scoring over the course of the season, yet only remains fifth in this championship. Hasn't lost out on a whole bunch of points, but you don't have to lose out on very many not to contend for that championship because, boy, if you are not moving forward in this league, you are going back.
Yeah, he's been carrying weight quite a bit this season for his, for success ballast, and some of these races where he finished well, he didn't qualify all that well, but lucked out and ended up either gaining weight or not able to lose any weight, and so. Just seems like he's straddled with weight all season long, but he's making the best of it. Currently in 8th, best time of 2:08.5, so gets turn 11 a bit wrong there, but ran a bit too wide.
You know, I think if I was a driver here on this track in these cars, I would be a little perplexed on just which way to go on downforce around here. I think that could be a challenge for some guys, and I think as a result, some of these drivers may be a bit off the mark.
So Marty's going to pull it in. So interesting. Kurt Chandler just ahead of him on track. So Kurt disconnect, but he made his way back in here in this session. So let's see what he is able to do here. As Kurt does not look like he's improved. Best time of a 2:03.3. So Chris Moses currently in 4th, our championship leader. Let's see if we can pick up his rival. There he is, Aaron Parsons. Currently sitting in 6th. And this is, let's be honest, this is a race where Parsons needs to score a point. This is how it's going to shape up. So the gap between Moses and Parsons is 25 points. So for Parsons to win outright, he'd need to get the... Let's see, if he gets the bonus point tonight and the win, that's 25 points, and Moses scores no points, they tie, Parsons gets the win championship based on wins this season.
Yeah, Parsons needs either a bonus point for pole or most laps led and the win. Moses needs to go out. So it's a virtual lock here for Moses, assuming he can keep it on track. And, interesting. Saw Aaron Parsons a bit off the pace there in that official practice period. So not sure what's going on here in the qualifying.
Yep. So the bonus point, if it's a tie, it goes to Parsons. Tie or better goes to Parsons. That's what it comes down to. So certainly a tough challenge. Moses just needs to keep it on track and score at least 1 point here tonight to pretty much come away with it. So right now, not looking too good for Parsons in terms of that qualifying point. As we got our eye on Lou Mascarelli. Lou currently in 14th.
Yeah, an 0.26 is actually not too bad a time, really. I'd like to maybe be a little bit faster here in the qualifying period with the softs on, but hopefully that'll translate to pretty decent race pace for Lou.
He's got John Watson just ahead of him on track.
Yeah, John Wathen, as you may or may not recall, came away with some nice points last week at Silverstone.
Ooh, big slide from Lou. Yeah, Wathen with a great run last week. So Lou avoiding observing there at the chicane. So I guess it's a matter of setup for some of these guys, how well they can attack it.
You know, I think that setup is playing a pretty big factor here at this track.
So Luis Nieto continues to lead this session with a 59 flat. We got just under 9 minutes to go here in this qualifying session, the final qualifying session for season 27. As we are following now John Wathen on track. It looks like he's got Greg Myers just up ahead of him. Greg Myers with another consistent season. But we'll touch on Greg in a little bit here. As Greg is, well, should he finish tonight on the lead lap, he would be the de facto, as Wathen throws it off, competition index winner. Car volumes are pretty low. Okay, hold on. See if I can adjust that, fellas. Hang on.
Yeah, as you adjust that, I'll go back to Gregory Myers real quickly. So not finishing outside of the top 14, has scored points in every single race so far this season, and that the Spa in particular was the highlight. Our very first race of the season, Greg came away with 6th place in that event. Nice run out there at Spa to start the season for Myers. Ian Joliceour has failed to make up any time there on Luis Nieto in that provisional pole position. Salem Montgomery Jr., however, is inched very close to Ian Joliceour now, just hundredths off of that Ian Joliceour time for 2nd place.
Alright, guys, let me know if that's better or if it's too much or what. Tried to adjust my sound here, so sorry about that. I thought I had it all taken care of ahead of time. So I'm board with Montgomery Jr. Currently, well, just got it's fallen back to 3rd here in qualifying. Just under 500ths of a second off of Joliceour's best time. Very impressive time from Nieto. And he's just improved to a 58.9. Just popped up on the timing here. So Nieto really laying it down here tonight.
Boy, and that's a good feeling. I'm sure that he wanted that 58. When you get so close to that next second down, that's a time you really want. And so congratulations to Lewis on that. But will it hold up?
Looking pretty good for him right now. We got to touch on both Moses and Parsons. Neither one are carrying weight here tonight, so that's some true speed from Nieto. As Montgomery Jr. pushing a little too hard, gets it wrong and puts it into the fence.
Yeah, well, opportunities are running out. 5.5 minutes to go here, and at 2 minutes a lap. That equates just to a couple timed laps left. Yeah, game volume. Might not be much you can do about that without exiting now, I don't think.
Hang on.
Yeah, quick recap last week there at Silverstone. Aaron Parsons barely able to hang on here for a chance for that Season 27 championship here tonight. And some late race fireworks between that Chris Moses and Aaron Parsons championship duel out there at Silverstone, with both having spins basically at the same corner on the same lap. Just a couple laps from the finish in that event, made for some exciting stuff.
Alright guys, let me know if that's any better. Let's see here.
That looks like the faithful viewership has responded. Sounds like it's okay, Al.
Oh, it's better? Okay, great. Alright, wonderful. Sorry about that, boys. Hopefully you can hear me and everybody. Okay, good. Thank you. Alright, sorry about that. Alright, so who we on board with now? I'm all frazzled. Alright, Joliceour. Here we go.
Hey, we could still be on GTR2 and I've already lost connection by now, Al.
That's
so
true. That's true. If I had to change my volume in GTR2, it would have been a short night. Alright. So no excuses now. So Joliceour on board with him. He's 6. Ooh, Nieto improved again to a 58.7. Wow. I think we were following him. And man, he is really laying it down here. So Joliceour, no doubt, seeing that time popping up on the timing, and he is really going to be pushing here. Joliceour, very good qualifier. Another notable here. Kevin Savoy back at 7. So Joliceour taking it well wide.
Yeah, Savoy also without any weight. It's interesting though, Al, isn't it, that we've seen these pole times generally just be sometimes way better than everybody else. I mean, we've seen that 2 or 3, maybe 4 times this season where you know the first guy's just head and shoulders above the field. That's very interesting, I find.
So Joliceour gets out of it. He's going to try again. Kevin Savoy coming out of the pit lane. Matt Taylor kind of languishing back there in A. Taylor also not carrying any weight tonight.
Yeah, Chris Moses continuing to lead the way for that team there in 4th. But we have seen Matt Taylor show some very good pace this season. In fact, beating out teammate Chris Moses on occasion.
Yeah, had a pole this season. 2nd place. I mean, I think a 2nd at one point. Had some very good qualifying sessions this season.
So looking through the timing and scoring here, there's only 3 drivers out there with any weight. And when was the last time we saw that? Ian Joliceour 15, David Poole 20, Marty Urin 10. Not much weight out there, and still nobody this season has ever started a race with more than 30 kilos, which I find very interesting also.
I think Ronnie had a shot at it and then got caught up with something at some point, as Chris Moses now jumps up to 2nd with a 59.1. So Moses doing what he needs to do. Matt Taylor does not improve. David Rowley kind of struggling here a little bit. Back in 12, had an outstanding race at Mugello and had another good run last week at Silverstone, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Rowley finishing 5th last week at Silverstone, so only 30 seconds to go here. Moses is parked it. He's done. Nieto, looks like he's on a flyer. Marty as well. David Rowley looking to improve here on his time. Chuck Carter improves to a 2:01.3, so Chuck's going to move to 11th. Nieto just ahead of Marty on track. And ahead of him is Aaron Parsons. Let's see what Aaron Parsons can do here. Do any better than 6th?
Yeah, we'll see.
Doesn't look quick.
Improved
he
slightly.
it. Yeah, moves up a spot. Nieto, does he improve? He does not. Marty. Doesn't look like Marty's going to improve. And it doesn't look like Rally will improve. Taylor's still out on track, as is Joliceour. Oh, Nieto does improve to a 58.5. I'm sorry. Holy smokes.
Yep.
So half a second up on Moses. So time is up here in this qualifying session as Taylor improves to a 59.9. So that moves him up to 7th. Joliceour followed by Chuck Carter. So Joliceour getting bumped down to 3rd. Joliceour carrying 10 kilograms of ballast for this race. Ooh, gets it all wrong through the chicane. So, doesn't look like Ian's going to improve. Chuck taking it way wide up, out into the gravel. And he is done, and I don't think he's going to improve. Oh, wow. Pretty quick session there, Brad. Nieto with his second.
It did seem to go by.
Yeah. Yeah, Nieto with his second pole position of the season. Chris Moses up to 2nd. Well, Parsons down in 5th. So best Parsons can do here tonight is win out, try and jump out into the lead and score those 25 points, and hope Moses, ends the night without any points. But not looking likely at this juncture. So looks like it's going to be all Moses tonight in terms of the championship. Now the team championship is that's a 31-point gap between T-Brock Dam Bam and PMR. Not, that's if Houston can work his way up through the field and score well, and Parsons finish well, they can come away with good points. But again, they're going to have to rely on PMR having a terrible night, which is not likely. Chris Moses, I believe, has completed all but one lap this season, and that one lap was a no qualifying. So in terms of race completions, he has covered every lap this season. So tall order there for these guys to come away with any chance of winning a championship, Brad.
Well, last week was an important week for Chris Moses. He had the opportunity to lock this championship down there at Silverstone. Turned out to be his worst points finish of the season, collecting only 7 points at that Silverstone event. So maybe a bit of a chink in the armor, but pretty unusual for us not to have at least 2 or 3 drivers really alive in that single drivers championship. What's a little more uncommon is we usually have 3 or 4 teams still with a mathematical shot going into our final event, but realistically, factually, we've only really got 2 going for it here with that T-Brock Dam Bam squad and PMR, with, as you say, T-Brock Dam Bam needing some help from those PMR guys. But you never know. If one of those guys goes out for any reason, disconnection, crashes out, what have you, then the tables are quickly turned, and we have seen that happen before in these final events, Al. So still a bit to play for out there.
Yeah, kind of surprising we're not seeing more play for it here for the championship here at this final race, especially in the teams, like you said. But yeah, at this point, final race here coming up from the Nurburgring. If you're just tuning in, you're watching live coverage of the North American Grand Prix Monday Night Formula Abarth Championship, which may change next Monday to next season, which would probably start, I'd say, mid-January, if anybody's out there wondering and interested in racing. So trying to discuss and plan for next season. So some guys may be interested in running a different formula than these cars, maybe something a little quicker. So we're in the process of testing some different formula cars. So we'll see how it goes, and we'll make a decision on that relatively soon. But
Well,
go ahead, Brad.
I was going to say, Al, that it's been a great foundation. This is the first season that we have run the open wheel cars, and I think it's only going to become a stronger series from here going forward. We've had 34 drivers compete actually over that, compete in these races, and 34 drivers have scored points here in the events so far this season. So plenty of drivers out there and plenty more room to improve on that number.
Yeah, certainly. And with the level of competition and the prizes to play for, it's a lot of fun. It's a good competition and a good community here. So if you're out there and you're thinking about racing with us, then by all means, NorthAmericanGP.com and register on the forum. Don't be shy and let us know you're interested. All right, Brad, what do you say? Let's run down the starting order for tonight's event. Luis Nieto with a dynamite time here in qualifying, 58.5. beating out Chris Moses in second by half a second. Third is going to be Ian Joliceour. Fourth, Montgomery Jr. And fifth, Aaron Parsons.
Yeah, David Poole, last week's winner, will take 6th. Matt Taylor starts 7th. Kevin Savoie only up to 8th, a little surprising. Marty Uren takes 9th. David Rowley's in 10th.
John Wathen is going to start 11th. Chuck Carter 12th. Lou Mascarelli is going to start 13th. Sam Roll 14th. Greg Myers 15th.
Yeah, Sergio Calderon takes 17th. Curtis Chandler. John Houston takes 18th, and that's it. Light grid tonight, Al.
Yeah, 18 drivers here tonight to finish this season. And, hey, as long as there's racing going on, these guys are going to have a good time. That's all that matters. So it's going to be a 30-lap race tonight, 150-kilometer race, equaling 30 laps. So just about an hour. Pit stop should be around lap 15 for some of these guys. Some may stretch it out. That's been another factor here this season, the old pit strategy, which has been very intriguing throughout season 27. But what are you feeling, Brad? Is Nieto going to come away with it? Got 10 seconds to go here.
Past performance has not proven that, Al. I'm not holding my breath.
Nieto looks like he got the whole shot here. Chris Moses is going to have a run as Joliceour tucks in behind Moses. Yeah, might have been some contact there between Moses and Joliceour. Looks like Joliceour might have the advantage here into turn number 2, and he does. Joliceour having a look on the inside at Nieto. Montgomery Jr. now settles into 4th. Very nice start here from Nieto. Joliceour now going to have a look on the outside. A lot better of it. Only change so far up in the top 5 has been Joliceour, who moved up to 2nd. Putting a lot of pressure here on Nieto early on. Poole with a nice start, followed by Kevin Savoie, Matt Taylor, Marty Uren back in 9th, followed by Rowley, Wathen, Lou with a great start up to 13th, Rolf, Chuck Carter, Kurt Chandler, John Houston. He's picked up a couple spots already as he tries to work his way through this field. He's got some pace. Showing some really good times in practice. Back out front, it's still Joliceour and Nieto duking it out. Jump on board with Chris Moses. Front row battle between these two guys. Looks like, 3 wide here going into the chicane.
Uh-oh.
Looks like it's going to be advantage. Joliceour. Yeah, Joliceour is going to jump out in the lead, and Parsons and Montgomery Jr. have some contact. Unreal. Parsons out into the gravel. Moses takes it out wide. David Poole's going to have a look. The field coming down into turn 1.
Well, I was just about to say the competition committee is going to have a light week.
Savoie is making waves here. He's worked his way up to 3rd. Chris Moses has had a moment. As Moses has dropped back to 5th. Here, David Poole jumps ahead. Oh, we got another incident here. Looks like one of the... take that back. Looked like one of the... looks like either Wathen or Chuck Carter had taken it off, but doesn't seem to be the case as... Man, what a great start here from Jolicoeur early. Putting a lot of pressure on Luis Nieto and jumping out to the early lead by the end of lap 1.
Yeah, as you watch that battle, I'll give you a quick update here. David Rowley, for some reason, pulled it off on the front straight after the first lap there and retired the car. And I'm not sure what's going on with that for David Rowley, but he's out.
No, it was a great 3 weeks for Rowley. Has ended early here, unfortunately. Further back, it is Taylor putting some pressure on his teammate Chris Moses. So Taylor and Moses in 4th. Jolicoeur hanging onto that early lead. Meanwhile, further back, Chuck Carter under a lot of pressure here as Mascarelli and Uran have it coming together. So both those drivers take it off. Going side by side through, I believe that's turn 12. Lou and Marty, and they're both away. John Houston has it beached, so he has an issue. He's going to be done. He's not going to be able to get it out of there. Wow.
Oh, my God.
So, things are starting to unravel here for T-Brock Dam Bam as John Houston has it beached. Now, Luis Nieto has got it back together here as he's starting to put the pressure. Oh, and he makes a little mistake, but he corrects. Ooh, that could have been bad for Lewis, but he saves it. And just caught up to Jolicoeur before making that little bobble there, but cost him a bit of time. But Kevin Savoy with a great start has jumped up to 3rd. David Poole, Chuck Carter still under a lot of pressure here from Montgomery Jr. This is for 8th. As we ride along with Montgomery Jr.
Yeah, I didn't catch what happened with that Montgomery Jr. Aaron Parsons contact. But pretty unfortunate for that T-Brock Dam Bam squad. Now seriously hurt here for that championship.
Yeah, Houston must be, he's done. Yep, I was just going to say he is done, out. Couldn't get the car out of the gravel trap. So, one half of T-Brock Dam Bam already out. The other half caught up in an incident with Montgomery Jr. So Montgomery Jr. now putting a lot of pressure on Chuck Carter. This is for the 8th position. Going wheel to wheel here, Montgomery Jr. blasting his way past Chuck Carter down the back straight here. He's going to have the advantage into the chicane.
Certainly looked like lower downforce there for Sam Montgomery Jr., did it not?
Yeah, it certainly did. But I'll tell you what, it looks like Parsons was getting some pressure here early on, but from Greg Myers, but it's pulled away. Let's look at the front here. Oh, Chris Moses, David Poole looks like he's made a mistake. He's given up his position, but Nieto now really starting to put some pressure on Jolicoeur for the lead. That's interesting. Once Nieto closes the gap on Jolicoeur, either looks like he overdrives a little bit, makes a little mistake, and has to make that time all back up. But it's about a 1.3 second lead for Jolicoeur over Nieto, followed by Savoy. Now Chris Moses moves back up a position after Poole's mistake. His teammate and Poole rejoins right behind Taylor. This is the battle for 5th on board with David Poole.
quickly going back to Ian Joliceour and Luis Nieto. Nieto has to be putting a lot of pressure on himself. He's looking for that first win. He's looking for solid points. Hasn't happened yet. I think he's pressing a little hard to try to break through for that first win.
Poole having a look on the inside. Ooh, big slide for Poole. He's going to give up some time there. Far, Joliceour, fast lap of the race, 2:01.5, followed by Nieto with a 2:01.5 as well. 0.05 of a second separating those two guys. You gotta wonder if Nieto gets in front, he may check out, but a lot easier said than done.
I think it's a little surprising there to see Ian Joliceour have that type of pace relative to what we saw in that qualifying period. Looked like Nieto really had the cat's tail there going into the actual race.
To be honest, I think Ian might be a little surprised as well, as David Poole's going to have a run here on Taylor into turn 1. It's the type of corner where you can really run side by side here. Some good racing. But it's going to be David Poole with the advantage, so he's going to pick up another spot. And meanwhile, Kevin Savoy is quickly closing up on this battle between the front runners. Now just 2 seconds off the leader and a second off of Nieto.
Yeah, Kevin Savoy, one of those drivers that once he does get into the race and gets settled down, will tend to pick up speed as the event wears on, and I think we're seeing that at the moment.
Further back here as Kurt Chandler now is coming under pressure here from Marty Uren. Marty trying to recover here after that incident with Lou. Marty may have a run here on Chandler that's going into turn 8. So Marty thought better of it, heavy on the brakes.
Yeah, hard to say how.
So Kurt may be lagging a little bit there. Ooh! Shot across the bow there from Kurt on Marty.
Yeah, attacking with the long nines from the bow there, Al.
Yeah, that was really close. I think there actually may have been a little bit of contact there.
Yeah, it's tough to say how much aerodynamic damage Marty may have from that earlier contact. Could be slowing him down the straights a little bit.
This is for position 13th between Marty and Curtis.
Yeah, and frankly, it's hard. Frankly, it's going to be hard to say if these gaps are really going to open up here. They may with our light crowd tonight, so we better enjoy these battles while they happen.
Kurt running way wide there in the final corner. It'll be a drag race here down the main straight. Already staying way wide of Curtis. It looks like Kurt is got a little choppiness going on, but looks like Marty's going to make the pass on Curtis and get it done.
Oh, yeah, an 0-1 flat from Luis Nieto, Al.
So Nieto is on it, but behind the leader, Joliceour. Keep our eye on that battle. Chuck Carter, meanwhile, starting to put some pressure on Sam Rolfe for 9th. Montgomery and Parsons also starting to get close to one another here. Working lap 6 of 30.
Yeah, and we'll see what happens.
Winding down.
Yeah, we'll see what happens if Aaron Parsons does get up to Salem Montgomery Jr. and what happens in that battle. That could be interesting.
Starting to close up now between Nieto, and there it is, another mistake. He gets close to Joliceour, puts a wheel off into the grass, and loses a bunch of time again. You gotta wonder, I mean, he's in a good position right now. He's running well. He's gotta relax.
Yeah, that is still very much a four-way battle for the lead now. Looks like both Savoie and Moses have settled down, and those gaps are close.
So take a look at tire strategy here. It looks like Joliceour, the leader on the mediums, often on the hards. Sure if anybody else did anything unusual, but that gap now 1.5 seconds between these two. Further back, Parsons now putting some pressure on Montgomery Jr. This is 4/7 on board with Aaron.
I show only John Wathen on the hards here in this race.
Yeah, so a little unusual. You saw a lot of guys on the hards last week, and Moses double stinted the hards, I believe. Both did have Mugello. But starting on the mediums here tonight. Savoie now under some pressure from Chris Moses. We've got some good battles here up and down the grid. This guy's a little further up on track. Checking out this battle here between now Moses and Savoie.
Yeah, as you watch that battle, the one between Aaron Parsons and Salem Montgomery Jr. is closed right up as well.
So Savoie started making some waves there on Nieto, kind of lost a little bit of pace here once Moses started closing up on him, maybe doing a little mirror driving here. Checking that battle real quick between Montgomery and Parsons. Way down the front straight.
Yeah, it does not look like there's a terrible advantage for either driver coming down the main straight. Aaron Parsons not really able to close despite being in that draft.
Nice entry into turn one. Montgomery locking up the brakes a little bit. Heading into turn one, but we saw that pass Montgomery made a few laps back. To me like he's running a bit less downforce than some of these other guys here tonight. Really strong down the straight.
Yeah, good point. Wow. Those four at the front, I just keep looking at that timing and scoring. Those times remain within 4 seconds of one another. These guys are on it.
Big slide from Montgomery Jr. This is going to give Parsons a look here, but Jr. recovers. Looks like he may hang on to it. Parsons may have a look here on the inside.
If Aaron is running a little bit more downforce, that will help him out here through these next couple corners.
Ooh, pushed a little too hard, taking it out wide.
Yeah, actually, pretty nice save there by Aaron Parsons. These cars do tend to get very upset over this curbing.
Back up front here, it's Chris Moses and Savoie going at it. And that top four, yeah, you can put a blanket over them. It's that close, only 3 seconds separating those guys.
Yeah, it's tightened up.
Yeah, really impressive job there from Joliceour. Not giving in to the pressure from Nieto. We know Nieto's got incredible pace in qualifying and in the race. Got fast lap of the race thus far. Ooh, Parsons just made the pass to turn one. Catching the end of that, so Parsons gets by. This is 4/7.
Yeah, pretty straightforward pass in the end. Was able to come off the last corner with good speed and just maintain it down that front straight.
Gonna want to get away as quickly as possible here. Further back, you got Chuck Carter, John Wathen, teammates. Might be behind behind them is Greg Myers, Sam Rolfe's teammate. So, nice battle between these guys. You don't like that analogy, Shubes?
Well, too late. You're going to have to live with it.
Yeah.
Whoa! Sam getting a little loose there, coming off of, whatever that is, 7, I think. Yeah, this was a battle for 8th, 9th, and 10th until Salem Montgomery Jr. went through, and perhaps Aaron Parsons as well. All these guys knocked back one position from where they're at, but on a heck of a battle at the moment, that 8th through 10th. 9th through 11th, excuse me, battle.
Sam getting it a little wrong there. John Houston reporting from the pit lane. Well, we saw you get beaches. Chuck Carter now going to have a look on the inside. Close enough? No. Ooh, maybe. Meanwhile, John Watson going to take, no team orders here. Watson's going to get past. So Watson's now going to take a shot at Sam Rolfe.
Well, let's just see here, shall we? Watson, 31 points. Where's Chuck at? Oh, Chuck, 45 points. Team leader, Chuck Carter.
Yep. Back up front here. It's still Chris Moses putting a ton of pressure on Kevin Savoy. Montgomery and Parsons. Parsons off into the gravel. Just picked that up late. So I don't know if Parsons has made a mistake or he and Montgomery had another coming together there. Interesting. Yeah, Montgomery has gotten past. Meanwhile, Watt is still trying to make hay here, trying to get past Sam Rolfe. Sam Rolfe doing a great job dealing with these guys.
Yeah, he really is. John Watson did make a bit of a mistake, allowed Chuck to pull back up, and look who's right behind. You got Myers and Urin coming up on them, so that's due to be a 5-way battle here shortly.
Oh, and Chris Moses just gets past Savoy. Going into that chicane. Savoy looking to counter.
Well,
might have some legs on him here. Is he going to throw it into one? No. But the battle up front, you see that? This is for the lead between Joliceour and Nieto. We've seen this a number of times. Nieto closing the gap to Joliceour, but making just tiny mistakes and losing just enough time to takes a number of laps to close the gap. It's pretty amazing.
Well, these strategy engineers are going to be working overtime here. The brains are going to be smoking trying to figure out what they're going to do on pit stops, because this is incredibly close, and these pit stops are going to be critical to how these positions come out of the pits.
Pit stops coming up shortly for some of these guys, we imagine, around lap 15. Most guys run it to the halfway point. Others will stretch it out. Some may come in a lap or two early, depending on the damage situation. But gotta hand it to Nieto. Solid run here so far tonight.
You know, I think he's actually maybe been helped a little bit by being able to follow Ian and not having the pressure of having to stay out in front. So this actually could be working into his benefit.
That's a good point. So the top four remain just as close as you see it. Ooh, big incident. Chuck Carter, Sam Rolfe, John Watson. Teammates taking each other. Ooh, yep, Rolfe involved. Greg Myers, all four of them, the two squads. Not sure what happened, but all four were involved in a fracas.
Nito going for a pass here now on the outside of Ian Joliceour, going into one.
Ooh, takes it wide. Oh! Got a little out of shape. It's a contact there between Nieto and Joliceour. It's a little too early on the throttle there from Nieto. Joliceour looking to counter, but it's just
Ian Joliceour, sometimes known for getting a little hot under the collar. He's going to have to stay calm here. That was completely unintentional.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, he was just kind of off into the off line there. It gets a little dicey when you're at that part of the track. Not much grip out there, and just put a little too much throttle input, and it set the car for a bit of a whirl. But no harm, no foul there, as Nieto is now out front here with here on lap 12. Joliceour falling to second. Stops coming up here. We talked to Poole last week after his win, and he had some damage, had some contact with the entry of the pit lane. Said it didn't take too long to get that damage repaired, so these guys are not going to be wanting to fix that damage. But meanwhile, Chris Moses is now putting immense pressure here on Joliceour, and it looks like he's going to have a run on Joliceour heading into the chicane. Joliceour is going to tuck in behind Moses.
Yeah, no doubt Ian Joliceour getting a little
Moses takes it wide.
Whoa!
So Moses is going to give that position right back, and then some. He gives another one up to Savoie. So uncharacteristic mistake there from... We said that a lot this season about Parsons and Moses. But these cars are tricky. They're not... they are. They're not as powerful as some of these other Formula cars, but they're a bit of a handful.
Yeah, you have to really push on the limit and trust a lot in the car, and sometimes they will step out on you. The thing that I've been surprised with, Al, is how many mistakes we've had early in the events before the tires get up to temperature. Guys just not able to, for some reason, be able to be careful enough until those tires get warmed up.
So now Savoie putting the pressure on Joliceour. You gotta wonder if Joliceour, as Nieto's starting to pull away, Savoie taking it wide, but you gotta wonder if that damage between Nieto and Joliceour, how much that is affecting Joliceour, or is it a mental thing?
I think it's a mental thing.
I think so too.
The contact was definitely wheel to wheel. Of course, that doesn't mean they didn't come away with some damage, but it was definitely wheel to wheel. So there may not even be any damage. I don't know, but I think Ian Joliceour got a little flustered and started to overdrive. But pit stops are coming up, and that'll be a reset for these guys here.
Yeah, don't be surprised if you see Joliceour here dive into the pits early.
Boy, I'd sure think about it.
Looking further back in the field here. Nieto is going to stay out. Joliceour in. So I had a feeling he was going to do it. And he's going to be the first to act here, so...
Yeah, good call, Al, and you know what? That could pay dividends. If he gets on that fresh rubber, able to turn some good laps, get those tires nice and hot, that could pay dividends when these guys come in for their pit stop rotation.
See how long it takes Ian to get in and out of here. You know, for sure he's probably going to be taking fuel, fixing his damage.
Yeah, interesting comment by David Poole. I thought that if you have, moderate damage, it will take longer to get that damage fixed than to put the fuel in and take the tires. But it's like he had more than that last week.
Yeah, not a bad stop for Joliceour. He comes out just ahead of Aaron Parsons. So, we're going to have to see how that shapes up here. Now, it's Nieto on his own. He doesn't have anybody up his rear. But he had started to pull away quite a bit from Joliceour before that stop. So, we're going to have to see where where Nieto and Savoie rejoin in relation to Joliceour. Joliceour is going to have a couple laps on his tires. So if these guys like to change tires, he's going to have an advantage.
Well, it's a nice respite here for Luis Nieto, able to get a little bit of gap, maybe calm down a little bit, think about these pit stops. Assuming he doesn't make any mistakes in the pit stops, then he should at least be able to retain the lead. Whether he keeps it with those cold tires remains to be seen.
So if you're just tuning in, you're watching live coverage of North American Grand Prix coming to you, the Formula Abarth Monday Night Series. Last race of the season from the Nurburgring. We had a heck of a first stint so far between front runner Luis Nieto. He just took over the lead a couple laps ago after getting past Joliceour. Joliceour has come in for service already. Kevin Savoie now running in second, followed by Chris Moses in third. David Poole now coming into the pit lane. So, just as predicted, the halfway point, these guys coming in.
Yeah, Nieto, big slide coming off of turn one, so he's still up on the wheel here, trying to make whatever gap he can before his stop.
Matt Taylor, he is in the pits as well. Joliceour has gotten past David Poole by a pretty wide margin. So gap's pretty spread out so far. So watch our front runner, Luis Nieto.
Yeah, it's going to be all about those stops.
Just want to take a quick look at the competition index here. Notice Greg Myers there. Last car on the lead lap. And, well, yeah, he's got a pretty big advantage over Kurt Chandler in third. Kurt Chandler in third in the competition index, but he's got Kurt covered by quite a bit, by about 30 kilometers. So Savoie coming into the pits. Nieto in. Chris Moses, he's diving in right at the last second there. So your front three in the pits.
Yeah, real quick, I would give honorable mention to Curtis Chandler. That is a lot of kilometers completed, Al. That is pretty impressive.
Yep, Kurt sticking it out this season. Good to see. So Chris Moses is going to have prime pit box here for leading the championship. Well, we're going to keep an eye on Nieto. Nieto is away. He's driving off. Savoie pulling away. Is Moses going to be able to beat him out? No. So where is Joliceour?
He made it past.
So Joliceour gets passed out into the lead.
That early stop paid off.
So, man, he must have had some incredible laps, incredible outlap. Wow, what a stop from Ian.
Yeah, did lower his best time there after he'd come out of the pits, so showing best on track.
2:09. Wow, and his stop is certainly a few seconds longer than the rest of the guys, but so Montgomery Jr. now out front, but he has yet to come into the pit lane. So he's going to be in need of service. So let's see. Luis Nieto now 3 seconds off. Man, he beat Nieto up by a mile. So So 3 seconds off of Joliceour. So Nieto's going to have some clear track ahead of him for him to really lay down some laps here to try and catch up to Ian.
Boy, that's going to be a tough task. I think Ian's really got the bit between the teeth now. And hey, he may run those tires off. We've seen that.
So both Savoie and Moses making mistakes their last time by. So Montgomery Jr. looks like he is going to stay out. So Montgomery Jr.'s best lap so far, 2:02.1, 2 seconds off the leader.
Yeah, surprising, especially given that qualifying effort. But it was really Kevin Savoie and Chris Moses losing out a bit on those stops, Al, dropping quite a few seconds to those two in front.
Yeah, Savoie and
Nieto.
Moses.
Sorry, big mistake going into one.
Yeah, Nieto appears to be pushing a little too hard here. So Montgomery Jr. allows Joliceour pass. So Joliceour well out front, nearly 5 seconds up on Nieto, and he's got Savoie and Moses covered by 8 and 9 seconds. So yeah, interesting. Pretty slow stops for those guys. I'm kind of wondering if he opted to double stint his tires, perhaps. I don't know. I mean, if he fixes damage, the tire change and fuel is going to get done ahead of time. So.
Well, it was mediums for Ian Joliceour. Again, John Wathan, the only driver taking the hards there to start.
So running down the field. Running down the field here, David Poole. Running out here in 6th. Pretty quiet race for him. Matt Taylor running in 7th. Aaron Parsons back in 8th. Followed by Wathan in 9th. Marty Uren. Had some earlier contact with Mascarelli. Recovered, now running in 10th. Followed by Greg Myers in 11th. Chuck Carter running in 12th. Calderon, and Sam Rolfe. Sam Rolfe having a look on the inside of Sergio, and Sam Rolfe gets the pass made. So Sam Rolfe now up to 13th. Calderon 14th. Back in 15th, and Kurt Chandler. Not sure what's going on with Kurt tonight, bringing up the rear in 16th. Rally Houston out of this race. That's how we run so far. Pretty spread out here at the moment.
Yeah, it hasn't decreased the action on track, at least not to this point. That gap really, Salem Montgomery Jr. to Luis Nieto, are virtual first and second here. Still relatively close here, hanging about 3 seconds. Nieto is doing all he can. Boy, he's driving the wheels off the thing at the moment.
Yeah, just watching him here, it looks like he's really fighting the car, especially through that turn one and 2 complex. Having a tough time through there through most of tonight. But the harder he pushes, the more time he is losing. Now that gap is 6 seconds behind Joliceour.
Well, it has been, like I said, Lewis, despite all this speed, has not turned in a points finishing result on track to finish off an event. So really, maybe he should be thinking more about second place at this point and hoping that the car comes to him and he gains some ground.
Jump on board here with Chris Moses now putting some pressure on Savoie. These two had a good battle in the first stint. It has resumed here in the second.
Yeah, it sure has, and it's got to be pretty comfortable for Moses here, knowing that his championship hopes are looking brighter and brighter here with every lap that they turn.
So Moses is going to make the pass on Savoie, and looks like he's going to give it right back up.
Oh, Nieto has a spin right in front of the battling Moses and Savoie.
Oh, big contact between Savoie and Nieto. That's a blind spot there on exit. That's a tough spot to be in for Nieto. It's just, you got that barrier there on exit of that final corner, and I'm sure Savoy just didn't see him. And Nieto in the gravel now. He's got some serious issues, so Nieto quickly falling back. And Taylor looking to take advantage. So now, your top three, Joliceour, Moses, and Poole. He must be wondering what just happened here. Savoy is falling back to fourth. But at this point, Chris Moses and Nieto is done. So Chris Moses, lucky to escape that incident. But nonetheless, he is, the championship at this point is his. Savoy done as well. So Savoy unable to continue here. So Moses, championship lock. No way Parsons back in sixth. He needs 25 points to at least tie Moses. And those championship hopes have been dashed, as Chris Moses now is your winner, regardless of what happens to him at this point.
Yeah, that's right. He's locked it up. Aaron Parsons not going to be able to take most laps and along with the win here tonight. So, yeah, congratulations, Chris Moses. He has been the most consistent over this season.
So Joliceour now with a 10-second gap on Chris Moses. That is for the lead of this race. We've got 10 laps to go.
Yeah, and right now that battle is over eighth, so Wathen, Carter, and Myers all still going for it.
Yeah, these guys have been going at it all night here. If you joined us late, big incident between all four of these guys. Well, these three and John Wathen. Not sure where Wathen is. He might have dropped anchor somewhere, but I don't see him.
Oh, he's up the road. Up the road just a little bit.
Oh, up in eighth. Yeah, so Wathen's still out on track. Sam Rolfe and his teammate trying to reel in Chuck Carter here for eighth. Sorry, for ninth.
Well, I have to say for Luis Nieto, that is a big mistake. We're pretty solid on the lockdown rule and not moving that car until you're absolutely sure it's clear traffic. And that nipped two drivers really in the butt here, not observing that lockdown rule, and that's why it's in place, Al.
Yeah, I didn't have a really good angle there, but I think, as you can see on board here now with Sam Rolfe, really it is a blind corner on exit, but you got to remember not to, obviously we do have that rule, but Moses and Savoy were side by side. This still happened to be side by side through that corner, and I think that's what made it a bit worse.
Kevin was definitely darting to the inside. I think he did see Lewis in time. Hard to say without. So we have some battles going on there, but yeah, it looked to me like it had plenty of time to dive to the inside. And the second thing is, it's you're still in there for a chance to have a good race, man. I don't know about pulling the chute there if you're Luis Nieto. Obviously the car needed to be fixed, but hey, there's still a race to be had out there.
I agree. So meanwhile, while we were discussing that, Sam Rolfe's gotten past his teammate for 10th. So yeah, Houston in the peanut gallery. You had a great season, John, with a win. Can't complain about that.
Yep, congratulations. So, Marty Uren now running
Up to 7th. Hardy with a great recovery after his incident with Lou there early on. But these guys really spread out here. Matt Taylor is actually coming under some pressure here from Salem. Salem was leading the race, came in into the pits, got service, and is now starting to reel in Matt Taylor here. This is for 4th.
Yeah, well, reeling in is right. He's more or less right there, and of course went very deep his first stint, so we'll have extremely fresh tires here, and that will allow him to be pretty comfortable as he pushes. We've seen these guys make some mistakes when those tires do go off a little bit, so he'll be in a better position.
Ooh, Montgomery Jr. doing a little bit of lawn mowing, but kept it on track. Really running low downforce here. He's got a lot of straight line speed. They're going to go side by side into the chicane. Looks like they got through there pretty cleanly.
Boy, but making time, hand and fist here over Matt Taylor. He wasn't anywhere to be found, and suddenly right there and looking to make the pass.
Don't forget that first stint. He had an incident, I believe, with Darren Parsons, had some damage. Well, it looks like Taylor might hang on to this. He does.
Yeah, very good point by the peanut gallery there. It is softs for Salem Montgomery Jr. I neglected to look at him after his stop and the tires that he chose. So that is the difference right now for Salem Montgomery Jr.
Yeah, one of the only drivers this season that has run stints on the softs, and he's made it work to his advantage a couple times. Got a win on Malaysia running on the softs in his first stint. Well, it's a pretty light field, a little surprising here this last race, but it's been a heck of a season for all these guys, and congratulations to them all for sticking it out and making this a great first season in these Abarths, and like I say, even more to come. What a great start. I'll tell you what, I mean, you say we had 18 or 19 start this race tonight. For any GP standards, we consider that a light field, but given as Taylor makes a bit of a mistake, but given the newness of this sim, I think a lot of other leagues would love to have 19 guys show up and run. But granted, there's always room for more. Always looking to expand, so.
Yeah, no doubt. So it was Chuck Carter actually making a mistake there in the 9th position, allowing Sam Rolfe and Greg Myers through. So Chuck Carter back to 11th.
Ooh, Wes, who's that back there? That is Aaron Parsons taking it well wide. Recovering. So, yeah, so Matt Taylor making that mistake, and Montgomery Jr. getting past, moving up to 4th. David Poole well ahead of Montgomery Jr. by about 15 seconds, 16 seconds.
Boy, looking at that timing and scoring, Chris Moses starting to claw back a little bit of ground here on Ian Joliceour for that lead. It's going to be a little too late, I think, but nonetheless putting in the kind of effort that one puts in when you want to win, you know?
Yeah, I think knowing Ian, he may have dialed it back a little bit. Here, and at this point, with 7 laps to go, the race appears to be in hand for him, as Chuck Carter's putting some pressure here on Greg Myers. This is for the 10th position. So yeah, we touched briefly about next season. So yeah, we're looking at other formulas for Monday night, and it should be a similar format in terms of distance, but maybe perhaps something with a little more grunt. And it's a learning experience for a lot of these drivers out there, especially the start of the season. We had our fair share of incidents, some ugly ones. Montreal comes to mind right out of the gate, but for the most part, a lot of these guys figured it out. Some guys still with some work yet to do, but I'm sure during the off season, Brad, you'll have your driving school and get these guys all sorted out for next season.
And I was thinking about a fun race or two, maybe in something a little, maybe even more than a little BVL.
Something we can consider. I should remind everybody, haven't posted anything yet, but we will be having another challenge race against our Russian friends in January. I believe it's the 17th. I don't remember the date offhand. It's one of those Sundays in late January. So keep that in mind. It's going to be, first race was at Road America in the Abarth, and it's going to be at Sochi in Russia in the Abarth. So hopefully guys that participate put more than a day of practice, because those guys came ready to play, and it showed.
Well, we had so we're going to have a home and away against those guys,
home and home
I guess.
Yep.
Yeah, hopefully we'll get a rubber match somewhere in Europe, huh?
Yeah, it's going to be at the Russian Sochi track, so it should be interesting. So, Joliceour now about to put Lou Mascarelli a lap down, and Chuck Carter not too far up on track. The gap between him and Moses is 8 seconds. But looking further back, Sam Rolfe leading Greg Myers and Chuck Carter. A couple seconds.
Yeah, Greg Myers probably doesn't have to complete too many more laps to be able to hang on to that competition index prize. Chris Moses would have won it otherwise, except that he will forego that prize in lieu of the championship trophy, the big one, and that would fall to Greg Myers. And give early congratulations to Greg. I think he's got a good shot for that one tonight.
Yeah, Greg is, so the way the competition index works, it's a driver that covers the most distance in a season. It's not laps, it's distance. So wins a nice little prize. And it's not always the fastest guy that wins. It's guys who are consistent like Greg. I think his best finish this season was 6th or 5th or 6th, I believe. And but he's always right there. Doesn't qualify all that well. Just keeps it on track, stays on the lead lap, and it pays dividends for him. So Chris Moses is the actual leader by just 5 kilometers, 1 lap. That lap he lost at, Greg lost at Hungary, I think, is what cost him the overall tie win. But since Moses is the champion, he is champion, and neither team or drivers aren't allowed to win the competition prize. So it goes to the next guy on the list, and that is Greg.
Yeah, again, it was 6th place out there at Spa to begin the season for Greg Myers, and never outside the top 14 in any other race. So it's been a hell of a season for Greg.
So that is the prize he shoots for every season, and I gotta say, I do the same going into every season as well. So yeah, Taylor now back at 6. Parson has gotten past Taylor, so Parson's now behind Montgomery Jr. by 12 seconds. David Poole alone in 3rd, followed by Chris Moses in 2nd, and our leader Joliceour after just putting Mascarelli a lap down. So this Thursday, coming up, the final round of the Thursday night GT class, 500 kilometers at the Nordschleife, and that is, obviously everybody who's watching this from knows, that is a true test and an amazing track to race at. So we got some spots available if anybody out there is looking to join up. We got plenty of room for guys to jump in and take part in that one. It really is. It really does feel well, Brad, when you get it right. You've gotten it right a lot more than I have.
Oh, it's great, and it's a true test in terms of the nature of the circuit, and a true test in terms of the endurance factor. It's the real deal. It's the full-on experience, and I love it. Can't wait.
Yeah, we got some good cars available. So some of you Monday guys, if you want to jump in, or if you're out there just watching, we got a driver joining up this Thursday. It's going to be a lot of fun, and next season as well, GT car is going to be a little different than this season, but at least the details on that coming up. So Joliceour puts Chuck Carter now a lap down with 3 to go. Greg Myers, no doubt, going to be wanting to hang on to onto the lead lap here as Joliceour quickly starting to put some pressure on. But I think Greg might be just far enough back where he could hang on to that position. The gap now 6 seconds between Chris Moses and Joliceour, but 3 laps to go. It's going to be very difficult for Moses to close that gap.
Yeah, you know, it's really not Ian's style to lay back much, and I think in that early opening stint trying to push as hard as he could to gain time over Nieto, I think he did run the tires off a little bit, and he's been trying to manage them as well as he can. And Moses has been pushing like hell. He is extremely motivated to get the win as well as the championship, and who can blame him? I would too.
Speaking of Moses, there he is running in second. Just under 7 seconds off of Joliceour, so Moses took him a while to get his first win this season. He was wondering if it was going to happen, but man, we had a really good run of winners this season. First-time winners here.
Yeah.
On Monday night, I think we went 8 races or 7 races before we got a repeat winner. Maybe even more than that. So yeah, I believe it was Parsons was the first guy at Monza to win 2 races this season. So that was
8 races into the season.
Yeah, 8 races in. Pretty amazing.
Yeah, that was exciting. So, yeah, if you guys, did not make some of the early events that are around now and have scored good finishes, so I'm sure with those guys returning and being able to put in full seasons, that championship will once again be extremely tight at the end of next season. I already can't hardly wait for it, Al. Haven't even finished this one yet.
Yeah, I know. It's going to be pretty exciting. So it looks like at this point only 2 other guys finished 2 races, Ronnie and Parsons, and it looks like Joliceour is going to be the 3rd here to win 2. The gap between Moses now 5 seconds. So Ian certainly dialing it back here, but Moses quickly starting to close the gap up, but Moses got some lap traffic to deal with. He's got Lou up ahead, followed by Chuck.
Well, regardless of the circumstances, if you're the guy behind, even if the leader's pulling away, if you're in that second spot, you push, because it only takes one guy having a mistake in front of you to steal a win. So.
Moses' first win came at Imola, scoring maximum points there as he tries to work his way past Lou. There he goes, that's a pass. So Moses really dominated that round, had a string of, finished second at Spa, a bunch of third place finishes, but just consistent enough to come away with the championship. Nunez was in it for a while. After missing the first race of the season, was in it up until Monza, where he had to suffer a DNF there. And Parsons with the DNF at Mugello took him out of contention for the most part. Still mathematically in it tonight, but that really hurt Parsons' chances.
Yeah, and I would say that Nunez and Parsons and possibly even Houston might have had a better chance because Moses, frankly, had slipped a little bit since that Imola race, not coming away with a whole bunch of points. These guys could have made some inroads had they not run into trouble themselves.
So working lap 29. The gap is now 4 seconds between Moses and Joliceour.
Boy, and that battle for ninth still not over.
Rolf and Myers, two teammates. At this point, it looks like Greg may hang on to that position. A gap now 3 seconds. Joliceour may have to make his way past Greg.
Yeah, I think he will. You don't want to take any chances with a guy that's only a couple, 3 seconds behind. You don't want to get too embroiled, and but we'll see.
So, post-race, we'll talk to our winner here tonight, and then talk to our championship winners before we call it a night here and close out season 27. Another great season here on Monday nights. And I just want to thank everybody who participated this season. And you know, it's a learning curve, like I said earlier, and I think guys really enjoyed it for the most part. And as always, we're trying to evolve here and work out the kinks, and I think we got it running pretty smoothly at this point, but there's always room for improvement somewhere along the line.
Yeah, and if I could add real quickly here, I think that there's a lot of former leagues out there that maybe have not pulled the trigger here on Assetto Corsa, and frankly, I don't quite understand what the reserve is here. It is a pretty functional system here. Maybe not perfect, but I have to hand it to Kunos that eventually they have responded to some of the multiplayer needs, and you know, maybe not completely polished, but very serviceable, I have to say. So I give due credit to the job that they have been doing for this sim.
So Ian Joliceour, Myers going to hang on to that lap gap 2 seconds. Moses push here at the end, but not enough. Joliceour going to take the victory here at Nurburgring. Great run there for Ian. Chris Moses, your champion, going to take second. Chuck Carter is going to finish a lap down in 11th. Mascarelli 12th. David Poole here is going to take third. Chandler's going to finish here in 13th. Montgomery really made those softs last. He's going to finish here in 4th. Followed by Parsons in 5th. Great season for Aaron Parsons, just coming up short a little bit. but nothing to hold your head down for. He had a great run, and so did Matt Taylor. Precision Motor Racing going to take the team championship, not only because of Moses, but the great job Matt Taylor did this season for that squad. So I'm going to back out of here real quick so I can save the replay and then bring in our winner. Ian Joliceour, do you copy?
Hello, Al.
How you doing? Congratulations, Al and Brad here in the booth. Man, what a first stint between you and Nieto. You really had a great start. Put a lot of pressure on him. Made that pass early, and seemed like he was he'd claw up to you, catch up to you, and then make little mistakes, do it over again, rinse and repeat. And after that move he made there in turn one, kind of took it wide and a little too much throttle. You guys had contact, and well, you pitted early. I kind of called it, and it was a good decision for you.
Yeah, thank you very much. I've been keeping an eye on the times this week, and I saw Nieto was ripping fast laps off, and I knew my only chance was to get him on that first lap, or it wasn't going to happen. And I was able to have the clear track, push hard, and yeah, we had a little contact in turn one. Thankfully, we were chatting about it when it happened, but yeah, all in good racing there, and there's no hard feelings between either of us. So very happy to be participating here, and thanks for having me, and thanks for doing that broadcast tonight.
Yeah, it looked like maybe there was a little lack of focus after that contact. That did seem to drop off the pace just a little bit. We were speculating if it might have come down to a little bit of damage or something, but it sounds like in the end maybe no harm, no foul. Quick general thoughts overall on the season for you, Ian?
Yeah, first off, Brad, there was quite a bit of front end damage there, and when Chris came up on me, I didn't think my fight was going to be with him because I knew I was going to be pitting early, so there's no sense in losing time. He had a bit of a bobble in the chicane, and I just said, screw it, let's go. Just hammered down one more lap and got in as early as I could. But yeah, overall, I'd have to say here at NAGP, this is the most fun I've had in any sim car that we've done. It's been a blast. Racing with these guys here has been awesome, and the friendships are even better. So it's great to be here, and very, very thankful to be part of this league.
Well, appreciate the kind words, Ian, and congratulations. You had a good run this season, a couple wins, and really you did a great job. You and Marty as well.
Thanks a lot, Al.
All right, well, we'll look forward to seeing you back on track next season.
Yep. Kung Fu Racing will be back next season. I can guarantee you that.
All right, good job, buddy.
Good night, guys.
All right. Chris Moses, do you copy?
10-4, Al.
Well, congratulations on the Drivers' Championship. Really put some pressure there on Ian late in that stint, but just didn't seem like you had enough laps there to get it done. But let's talk about real quick your season. This season 27, coming home with the Drivers' Championship. Gotta say it, we started questioning you a little bit there after, what did we go, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 races without a win, and then finally Imola came along and you really put it together there and started to, almost like you sealed it at that point.
First of all, Al, we have a sip of beer. Yes, awesome season. Mission accomplished. I'm not standing on an aircraft carrier when I'm saying it, but let's see. Yeah, we won team championship, competition index, and drivers championship. This was the first race I didn't have success ballast, with the exception of Spa, the first race. So the car's quick. Congrats to Ian. He really put some good laps together on fresh tires and had a big gap, and I couldn't quite pull him back in. So for the season, I just had I was conservative all season. I just waited for other guys to make mistakes, and it pretty much paid off. I was just consistent. The worst finish was last week, was a 10th, and only got one win all season, but I got a lot of seconds and thirds and fourths and fifths and all that. So kept racking them up.
Yeah, I would say that was probably the biggest difference in this championship as opposed to some of the others. Did lack the wins, but did remain more consistent, I'd say, perhaps in championship seasons past. What stands out as a highlight for you? Do you have one this season?
It has to be Imola. You know, I set the car up on edge there and really attacked the curbs and had a nice battle with Andres for the win there. But there's been a lot of good battles. These cars are tough from the standpoint of aerodynamics. As far as it's hard to make a pass stick. You can pass on real clean, and there's a straight right behind. They're going to be able to, even though they might be a little slower in overall lap time, they're able to get back beside you. So that part was a little frustrating at times, but just every race I just took the high road on the setup, make sure I wouldn't make too many mistakes, and let guys go at the beginning, and always came back up to the top at the end.
Well, brought your teammate Matt up here as well, but as a twosome here, you guys really put together a great season. Not only yourself, but Matt, you really had some good runs this season. What you got a couple times pole position at I believe Bud. You had a great run, had a good second place finish there, and Sepang as well. Talk about your season and your contribution towards the team championship.
Yeah, absolutely. Very happy to get not only my first pole, but a second one in there as well. Did get caught out on tire strategy a little bit when we had that mid-season tire compound change. Felt really good going into the season and was extremely disappointed not being able to run Spa and Zandvoort, as I felt like I had a pretty sizable gap on some of the stronger guys in the field that maybe hadn't quite figured out the car yet, setup, and as the season went on, clearly saw the guys who have been fast in the past really pick it up, and especially here the last couple weeks, it's been a lot harder to maintain some of that performance.
Yeah, well, you certainly go ahead, Brett.
Sorry, I was going to ask real quick, Matt. It looks like you're going to lock up 6 in the championship standings. Not too shabby at all. Do you think you can even improve on those those points for next season, finish even higher?
Oh, absolutely. Even tonight and last week didn't have a real good setup under me. Suffered a cut penalty, I believe week 3 in there, which really hurt. And I think I was toe for toe with Chris most of the season.
Well, you certainly did.
Hear, hear.
Certainly, both you guys did a tremendous job, and congratulations on the team championship, and Chris, congratulations on the drivers championship. Certainly did. Consistency certainly pays off, and you were certainly consistent this season. So congratulations, and guys, PM me your addresses, please. Thank you. And good luck next season if you guys remain teams. A team.
Right on, Al. Hey, Al, that's NAGP number 13, championship number 13 for me. Looking for 14 on Thursday. 3 more days. Woo!
All right. Well, good luck Thursday night, and good luck to you two guys next season.
Thanks, guys.
All right, Brad. Well, pretty amazing end to the season. Kind of quiet there at the second half of that race, but pretty exciting first stint. And overall, pretty very entertaining season for the most part here. A bit frustrating at times watching some of these incidents, but overall it was good. And, I think it sounded like you enjoyed it as well. So thanks for helping me out all season, Brad, in the broadcast booth. And especially thank you to everybody who tuned in throughout the season, and all your contributions as well really help the league push forward. So
well, I was happy to be a part of it, Al. Thank you for your time and effort as well.
All right, guys. So like I said earlier in the broadcast, Thursday night we'll be back live. Ken will be bringing you coverage from the Nordschleife 500-kilometer race, a little bit under 3 hours, and look for a return to action come mid-January after the holidays. So thanks again, everybody, for tuning in here on Monday nights, and we'll talk to you guys soon. Have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.